Okay. All right, so Lynn's going to cover attendance and meal count for child care homes. And Lynn works primarily with our child care center. So this is going to be, concept is the same, but this is our first time teaching child care home attendance and meal count. And so in our practice session yesterday, Mr. Maurice was standing by to offer backup. So Maurice, you're still there to provide phone a friend if Lynn needs it. All right, Lynn, let's go.
All right, everyone, good morning. I do want to say this before I get started, that I do train in kid care. I have trained homes in kid care. So if anyone is interested in that, you can always hit us up and schedule a time, and we do it over Zoom. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So attendance and meal guidelines. USDA guidelines require participating facilities to maintain daily attendance and time of service meal counts. Providers must mark attendance each day when children enter the facility. Providers must mark meal count at the time of each meal or snack that is served. So yes, every day, as soon as the children get in, go ahead and mark the attendance. And then for each meal service, go ahead and mark their meal that was served. Guidelines require attendance and meal count to be maintained separately. Use care move approve attendance and meal count forms only. Be sure to mark attendance and meal count separately. If you claim online, we highly recommend you mark on paper first and enter into computer no less than once a week. If computer, yeah.
I'm sorry, let me jump in on that line. So child care home, strike that one. The way the system is set up, so this applies more to child care centers. For child care homes, we're looking at how kid care operates now. We're going to make sure that at the very least, you can mark at the end of the day. You can put it on paper and come back and put it in the computer by the end of the day, meaning by midnight of that day. But you can't hold off and do it a week later.
Okay. And that makes sense because you can use any device to get into kid care. So whatever device that you have that can reach the internet, you can use. You can use your iPhone, Android phone, tablet, iPad, whatever gets to the internet, you can use to mark attendance. And it's quite easy. Shouldn't take no longer than 10 minutes at the most to mark attendance and daily meals. Okay. Menus must be updated at time of meal preparation. Online providers must post paper copies of menus and keep them updated. Go ahead to the next page or go down a little bit. I can't see what's down there.
Maurice's famous statement or favorite statement: no documentation, no reimbursement, no exceptions.
Yes, definitely.
So if we come in and your attendance and meal count is not up to date, either on paper for paper claimers or in kid care for online claimers, the minute we walk into that daycare and that attendance and meal count hasn't been updated, you're going to end up being denied meals. And it does happen. I was going to say we've had a couple times here recently where you come in at the end of the month and there's no attendance and meal count for the whole month. And there's always a bunch of different reasons, but those reasons don't matter. If you can't show us that you've done your attendance and meal count daily at the time of meal service, we have no choice but to deny every meal that wasn't properly documented.
Attendance and meal count form, all homes. So the general requirements: attendance must be marked daily when the child arrives for care. Meal counts must be marked at the time of meal service, cannot mark in advance. Failure to mark attendance and meal counts in accordance with the requirements is grounds for meals to be denied. And as you can see, it gives you step-by-step instructions. You put the child's name there, their age, then you mark the meals with X's in the little boxes. And please, if you can, try and stay within those boxes. it sort of messes the system up if there's stray marks.
And when it comes to that child's full name, make sure you're using the name that the child is enrolled under. All right, so one of the things that slows us down when we're checking claims is in the database we have, look at this child here. In the database we have James, or we have Robert Childs, but for some reason he goes by the name of, you know him as James Child, but he was enrolled as Robert Child. We don't know who James Child is. So make sure you're using the name that you enrolled the child by. And if that name changes, you need to send in an updated enrollment and let us know that the name has changed. Okay, and then when it comes to the attendance and meal count, make sure on the left side, you see the kind of shaded blue box that says ATT. That's the attendance. You're going to mark that first. All right, so as the children are coming in, you're marking them on your daycare roll. You should mark them on your CACFP roll. And then as meals are served, you mark the meals. And it's not uncommon for a child to have attendance marked, but no meal served. A child might show up and get sick before breakfast. Doesn't mean they weren't in attendance that day. So attendance stays marked, even though there's no meals. That's not unusual. Okay, next.
The attendance and meal count form for Kentucky only. List the children you are claiming for the given week. Circle the meals served to each child. Must have enrollment documentation on file for each child claimed.
Okay, in our discussion yesterday, Lynn, I don't think you were there, but I think we learned that most of the Kentucky homes are using the care move form and not the KDE form,
Okay.
Which is perfectly acceptable.
Yes. Yes, and again, I recommend kid care. There is never a time where attendance has been lost in kid care. Forms can be lost or damaged to where it's beyond repair where you can't see it. So sign in, sign out sheet Kentucky. Be sure to follow the instructions printed on the form.